time is it?
Okay, we have some fabulous live music later on, but right now, here's the kind I prefer.
Are we live? I thought I was waiting for the stinger to run. It didn't run this time. All right, man. We're here on westcoaststyles.com YouTube channel, the OG WCR. We got a special guest in the house, the OG KAM, the Watts legend. Man, thank you for joining us today.
Oh man, you got it. You know, we go way back, like our hairlines.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I gotta be.
Yeah, we've had some dope interviews in the past. Yeah. You know, I've been a fan of yours since Peace Treaty. Before I ever even got into the rap game, Peace Treaty was one of my favorites. You know, when it came out, and you know, you've always been, you know, an ambassador for peace. And even in the Ice Cube diss, when you were going to Ice Cube, you said a line that really stood out to me, and you said the brown and black on the same team. And so you were really pushing back then for a narrative between brown and black. And I think that's an important message for today. And so I wanted to ask you, first of all, before we get into everything, what can we do to improve brown and black relations here, especially in Los Angeles?
Just education and more respect. You know, just like I did. You know, respect don't mean that you quote unquote in love with each other and that you see things eye to eye. You know, even in warfare, like Trump in America, like, you know, you can even be enemies, but you know, it's still supposed to be a level of human respect. You know, you're supposed to respect, you know, people. Unfortunately, with us, we've been manipulated by the same enemy to not only disrespect each other, but to disrespect ourselves first. So we if we don't have no respect for self and we self-destructive, we murdering each other, then of course nobody else stand a chance. So it comes down to knowledge of self first. Once you learn more about yourself and your value, and then you're gonna start falling in love with yourself and with your own, you know, your brothers and sisters, you know, in your own so-called ethnicity first. And then once you learn more and deeper about who your extended family is as original and indigenous people, then you also realize that if you black, the Mexican is your indigenous original brother and not your enemy, and they was bit by the same snake, you know, that we was. The same thing that happened to us basically, except for the chattel slavery 400-year thing. But as far as being conquered and raped and pillaged and destroyed and forced a European language on us and culture and names. The same thing happened with the native indigenous, what they call Mexican now. The Spaniards, the white Caucasian Europe Spaniards, did the same thing to the indigenous original owners of this hemisphere, which is the Native American so-called Indians, and that's what produced Mexicans. That's why, you know, Mexicans look like they look a little lighter, and just like we look, you know, we supposed to be African, but we the same color. You know, Mexicans and most blacks is the same color because we've been raped and our blood has been mixed and diluted by the same, you know, European white enemies. So once we get enough of our history, you know, down packed and teach our own at home first, then that'll automatically remove that false narrative that we enemies to each other.
Mm-hmm. Dope, man. That's a dope message, and I think that it's especially important today, especially in Los Angeles, where, you know, the blacks and Mexicans were right next to each other in the same neighborhoods. So we have to coexist somehow and come to a better understanding of each other. You know, lately, you know, you've been making some waves with your culture Vulture diss. You know, that's I saw the video the other day with Dame Dash, and you know, you put out that song, and so give us a story behind this. I know you're going at DJ Vlad. What's the whole story behind that whole song and diss?
yeah, it's just a response to intentional violation, intentional disrespect, or intentional slander that DJ Vlad attempted to do against, against Minister Farrakhan on his speech that he gave this past July 4th in the summer called The Criterion. And in that speech, where he was really saying some profound things about exposing who our real enemy is globally. He made specific reference to the people that control the monetary system and control entertainment and all of the negative and pornographic and self-destructive images that blacks and browns have been portrayed as throughout the world. And that's those so-called Jewish Zionist owners and leaders that claim to be Jewish. They claim to believe in God and the laws of Moses, the 10 Commandments and all of that, but they doing everything that God say don't do. That's what they pushing and promoting and infecting us with, infecting the globe with. So he was calling those specific false Jewish people by, calling them out and saying that symbolically, when a righteous person, or what in Arabic is called a Muslim, sees a person of that satanic characteristic, they're supposed to pick up a stone of truth, like David and Goliath, or pick up a rock of truth and hurl it at them, meaning tell the truth on them and expose them no matter what. Don't fear no consequences. But Vlad intentionally left out the end of that sentence and took a sound bite. And he was interviewing D.L. Hughley, and D.L. Hughley being black and an influencer, with millions of followers and fans, he was baiting him in and luring him in to try to publicly go against Minister Farrakhan to make him sound like he was Hitler, like he was the new Hitler, talking about he's supposed to do something physical violence to Jews. So once I saw that, I immediately hopped on my IG and aired him out and called him out and challenged him, and told him I dare you to get on a live with me right now, wherever it could be, on your platform, on IG or whatever. Because when I was on your show, you didn't ask us nothing like that. You had about 2 or 3 members of the Nation of Islam, me included, and I'm the hip hop veteran. I'm a West Coast hip hop veteran. You know what I'm saying? So I was the one that you should feel most comfortable addressing that with if you had an issue. Because Minister Farrakhan didn't say nothing that he ain't been saying for 60 years. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that he tried that, after he built up, millions of dollars off of our blood and off our culture and 4-point-something million viewership or whatever, then he used that position of influence then to try to go at the leader of the greatest leader black leader of our time right now, which is Minister Farrakhan. So, me being, in love, and that's my spiritual father, and this is my nation. Of course, I had to respond immediately, and that's what that culture Vulture came from.
Now, it seemed like all you wanted was an apology. Was that correct? I mean, he did a retraction, but you actually wanted him to come out and just say, "Hey, I am sorry for this."
Yeah, because if you are supposed to be a professional journalist, and you're supposed to be sensitive to the culture, and you made your bread and butter and your bones and your millions off of us and off of promoting the beef of us and incriminating, getting us to implicate ourselves on your platform, and you're married to a black woman and got 2 children by her. You should be morally, obligated. Your morals should, the conscience itself should have told you that, you needed to apologize, especially if you knew you was in error. Any hateful, publication or journalistic, platform or whatever that we know is still our enemies is going to apologize. But the fact that you wouldn't apologize let me know that it was something personal. It was you was in your feelings. So since we knew that this is how you really felt, then cool, don't apologize, and I got something for you now. So we can dance that to him. So that's how that went.
Wow. Now I've always I made a comment when I saw that when I heard the song. Actually, on my IG. It was like, KAM may be a Muslim, but don't piss him off, man, because well, we've heard your past disses before, and man, you know, it seems like you're the wrong one to piss off, even though you know you're spiritual and all that. So, um, you know, you mentioned culture vultures. Is Vlad the only one in your sights, or is this towards
No,
all you know?
he's the one that got to be made an example of. Of course not. Of course, he's not the only one in our sites. But since he felt like he by name he calls his platform VladTV, and he branded his own identity. So he's not like a Fox News or a CNN or, you know, where they all just generally, you know, got an agenda of going against, you know, Farrakhan or any black organizations or stuff like that. But
Yeah,
he made his bones off of his name and being a representative of our culture, rap, black hip hop culture. So since he wanted to do that, there's other people behind him like a No Jumper and Adam 22 and some other folk, you know, that's doing the same thing. So we had to make this one an example. Since he had the little testicles to try that, then we had to make an example out of it.
Okay. Now, you know, one thing about the Nation of Islam that I've always loved, and I can't say I've agreed with everything I've heard, but one thing I really love is their dedication to Black culture and preserving Black life. That's something that really cannot be disputed by anybody. What are some of the misconceptions about the NOI that you think that the mainstream, not only the mainstream media, but just the mainstream in general, has about your organization?
It's not a misconception. They know exactly what the mainstream intentionally tries to misrepresent, or, you know, to lie on what they know we represent. So the mainstream, you know, they goal and their agenda and their narrative is to twist it and to make it look like it's something that is not, something evil or something extreme or whatever, when in reality we are responding. And no thanks to America, who destroyed us and enslaved us for 400 years, we have to be responsible for producing the reparations and the therapy and the self-love and the unity that they never helped us achieve. So on top of that, now once we start speaking on that, because we believe God himself raised a messenger for us to get us together, which is the modern Moses and Aaron, which we understand and recognize to be the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Minister Farrakhan. Elijah Muhammad is the modern Moses by specific fulfillment and description, and Farrakhan is Aaron, because if no other people in the history of the last 4,000 years, 6,000 years fits the description in the Bible that talk about Abraham's seed in Genesis, know for surety, God talking, know for surety, Abraham, that your seed is going to be a stranger in a land that's not theirs, and they're going to be afflicted 400 years in bondage. And after that time, I'm going to come and judge that people. And, you know, y'all come out with great substance. So y'all are actually the chosen people for this, to fulfill this prophecy. And people that call themselves Jews, they know that prophecy very well, because they have claimed to be that. So they know that this is a biblical prophecy issue. You know, the culture that we represent is the culture of not hip hop. It's the culture of being the fulfillment of Bible prophecy, like what they claim to be. So, you know, that's really what it comes down to.
Okay. One of the things that I know that the media likes to portray the Nation of Islam is that you guys are like anti-Semites or anti-Jewish. That's really not the case, so right?
Yeah, how could if we're the real Jews, and the definition of Semitic means Afro-Asiatic languages. And just think about that. This is the actual definition. And Asiatic does not mean Asia, like China, and, you know, Asia. The Asiatic means original, the original name of the planet Earth. How they used to have a continent they used to call Asia Minor. You remember in school in geography? Well, Asia Major is the whole planet. Before this planet was called Earth, the original indigenous people named this planet Asia. So the definition of Semitic is Afro, meaning specific, that means African, Black, Afro-Asiatic languages. So languages don't create themselves. Languages are created by Afro-Asiatic people. So the definition of Semitic is Afro-Asiatic people. So how could we, being the Afro-Asiatic people, be anti-Semitic or anti-Afro-Asiatic unless we was made that by the same people that brought us here and made us into niggas and made us self-hate? So yeah, we can be considered anti-Semitic, meaning anti-self. We gangbang, we killing each other. So we are anti-Semitic against ourselves because we're the real Semitic people and we killing each other. But as far as them being the Semitic people, nah, that's identity jack. White Europeans are not Semitic people.
Wow, that's pretty heavy. What about Christians are concerned? I mean, there's also this misconception that you guys are also anti-Christian as well.
Nah. If you know anything about Islam, it's a whole chapter in the Quran, chapter 19, named after the mother of Jesus, the mother of the Messiah. So all throughout the Quran, if you know anything about the Quran and Islam, we all accept the Messiah, Jesus, son of Mary. You know what I'm saying? That's who we expect to be coming back in the end as well. So that's purely false. What we are against is the tampering that we know Europeans have done to the Bible and called it Christianity. The people that brought us over here as slaves and raped us and tortured us and hung us, they called themselves Christians. The KKK calls themselves Christians. You know what I'm saying? The Nazis, neo-Nazis, they all call themselves Christians. So are they really Christians? Those are the same people who follow the Bible that we have today that been canonized in the first council of Nicaea with Constantine. That's who innovated Christianity. Before that time, it wasn't called Christianity. It was called Islam, or it was called Judaism, or it was called righteousness or truth or whatever. But the title and the belief system and the ideas and concepts called Christianity, that's a Caucasian. That's the Pope of Rome, and Rome, the Romans. If you don't know anything about the Bible, Jesus was not from Rome. Rome is in Europe. The Romans are the ones that killed Jesus, if you believe in that, that story. So how did now Rome become the capital of Christianity, of Catholicism? Catholicism is the mother of all Christianity. So if they the ones killed Jesus, how are now they the authorities of Christianity?
No, that's a lot to think about. So as far as hip hop is concerned, Culture Vultures. As far as hip hop is concerned, Culture Vultures is not a diss towards white people. Is that correct?
Nah. It's not a diss towards white people. Culture Vulture is a diss towards leeches and parasites and vampires, bloodsuckers of the culture. Those that it's different races. It's all kind of races that can be culture vultures. If you're not from this culture, the culture is the culture of descendants of 400 years slaves that have been robbed and destroyed, and we poor and we raggedy and we despised and rejected. Nobody has helped us. Nobody helped us get no reparations. Nobody did nothing for us. So for somebody that's not from this experience to come in, even if you're supposed to be African, if you're not from the African American experience of 400 years, just like a Barack Obama or Kamala Harris or whatever, those is culture vultures too, as far as I'm concerned. So it's about somebody that comes in and takes from us, takes the blood and takes the power or whatever from us, and don't give nothing back. You know what I'm saying? Don't help us and help repair us in no kind of way. They just suck our blood. They're a leech. They're a host. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we they hosts, and they suck the life and the power out of us like they've been doing for 400 years.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to clear that up because I didn't want people to think that you're just saying, hey, white people can't be a part of hip hop or anything like that. No. But I mean, anybody who knows hip hop has to understand that it is Black culture. just as rock and roll was black culture.
Right.
And you know, and I tell people, like especially fellow Hispanics all the time, the oldies that you listen to, that's all black music.
Well, but you saying fellow Hispanics, so let's go back to what I said earlier. Black, the original people of this planet are called black, but black is not just the Afro, kinky hair, Negroid features. The Native American here, they also are part of the original black family. Mexicans that don't have the knowledge of themselves all the way. They don't want to see themselves as no miata, I know miata, but that's not what that means. In reality, that's why so-called Indian hair is black and eyes is black, and their skin will get dark as ours. You know what I'm saying? Before y'all got mixed with the Spaniards, y'all are black. Y'all are from the original black family. It don't mean that you're the Afro, the African tribe. You're not the tribe of the Africans, but the Bible said it's 12 tribes. So they got different features and characteristics and experiences and cultures or whatever, but they still original people.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, if you look at some of the statues that were made in in our early history, you'll see that a lot of them have black features.
Yeah.
And black,
Yeah.
They black people were
It's
on the
pyramids all throughout South America. It's pyramids. It's not just in North Africa and Egypt. Pyramids is all throughout South America. So that proves that we are the same people. We just a different tribe.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's pretty heavy, man. So what's next for you? You made this song, the Culture Vultures, and it's and it's gotten a lot of attention. But what's next for you? Like, what are you working on now?
It's more of that, more of the same. I just got started. The campaign on that Culture Vulture and on Vlad and whoever else has just begun, because that's what time demands right now. That's why you see what's going on with Trump and Biden and Breonna Taylor and George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery and all this injustice that's going on, especially against the blacks and the Mexicans. Because me personally, I don't really have no problem with Trump. I want Trump to remain the president because he's more, honest and upfront about how he really feel about us. I can understand, my Mexican family don't want nothing to do with Trump, but
We don't.
but Trump is just like every other white president was to us. How y'all feel about Trump is how we feel about every president prior to Trump. You know what I'm saying? I would rather have Trump because we see what he telegraphs his punches. You know what's coming. His racism or whatever is out front for you to prepare for. But if you got somebody that's a real Satan slick, wise, behavioral Satan, that knows how to get up next to you and make you think they really on your side and all of that's what I don't want. I don't want a Hillary Clinton or Kamala Harris or a Biden that's acting like they love you and lying through their teeth, knowing that you done incarcerated more black people than all these white ones put together. And like say with Obama, like you murdered Gaddafi. You got with with Hillary Clinton and they used your face and your influence to go murder our best friend in Africa, the one that was putting the whole wealth of Libya behind the black people in America to help us stand up with reparations, with wealth and all of that. And you went in there and murdered him. So no white people, I'm not worried about no Trump. I can appreciate Trump being there because we know where he's standing and we know what to expect from him.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't have my vote, but are you going to vote?
One of them, shit, but I'm just talking about if I got to pick. They talking about the lesser of two evils. The lesser of two evils is the ones that's the evil that's more honest. I don't want the evil that can deceive me. Trump ain't gonna deceive me. You know what I'm saying? Trump is not gonna deceive me. But if
are you voting or are
anybody else, you think you put another Satan in there that's better than Trump, you already deceived. You already deceived.
Are you voting or are you going to abstain from voting?
Nah, I ain't never voted in my life on no national election because that's all rigged. That's all, that's electoral college and all kind of politics and tricks and that's Vegas. That's Vegas. Our vote don't matter.
Yeah. How's your brother doing, young Bruz? He's still out recording?
Oh, yeah.
I remember he had put a song out called "Fear of a Black Fist."
Yeah.
And I was actually helping him promote it. And I took that to like a number of websites. Now I know All Hip Hop, they put it up on there, but there were some sites that didn't want to fuck with that video.
Yeah, of course. I mean, and that's what you call corporatized, and you know somebody else is pulling the strings. If hip hop, like you said, is supposed to be the voice of a suffering and destroyed and oppressed people, we was never free physically. We can't even be free to express to the world our pain and what happened to us and what's happening to us. Now it's called hate speech. Now it's against our community standard. Now you get your channel took down. You can't even monetize yourself if you're talking about what these devils have actually done to you against us. But let the Jewish people say that it's never again and never forget, and everybody's a Hitler, and they can say that about everybody.
Yeah.
And what you suffered, you didn't even suffer it from us. Black people didn't do nothing to you, and white people of America didn't even do nothing to you. How are y'all able to control what we can't even cry out about? Because you're involved in it, because you're one of the architects of it. So you know if we speak, we're going to expose your hand in it. I'm talking about these false Zionist Jews, you know, false Jews, not the white Jewish ones that really follow Judaism and the Torah and try to be righteous. I'm not talking about those white Jews with the curly, you know, with the curly hair and the beard and all of that, you know, because you got a lot of those that's brothers in the faith. We don't have no problem with them. I'm talking about the false ones that control money and entertainment and sports teams and finances and the monetary system, the Federal Reserve, the bankers and all that. We talking about them. Those are the Satans.
Yeah. Well, I saw it firsthand because there are people that told me, no, we're passing on this video, even though it had, cameos from hip hop stars in there and everything, and it had all the qualifications of being of being displayed or should be displayed, and they still wanted to pass on it because of the message.
Exactly. And who controls that? Who? It wasn't no black people, and if it was, that means they was prostitutes and they was scared. They was minions of somebody else, because why? What was, nobody was calling for no violence.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So if George Soros can say Black Lives Matter and everybody can now put that on they you know, the Lakers just won, congratulations to the Lakers, but everybody can put all this pro-black fist and take a knee is cool now and all of that. Why y'all can't play a video like that? What's you know what I'm saying? So you see the hypocrisy and you see the real Satan hand that's really controlling it, because they don't want people like us that don't have no price tag. That I'm not working for no sponsor. I'm working for the real pain and suffering and injustice of my people, or justice for my people. So you can't shut me up. You can't tell me not say this. Okay, well, you can't come on. We can't talk about, you know, what you think about Zionist Jewish people, and we can't talk about this. No, I'm talking about everything. So that's the problem. I don't got no filter.
Yeah. Well, Cam, it's been a pleasure having you on, and your message. I mean, I've always taken heed to what you've had to say. And because you speak right here from the brain, and so I thank you for coming on, man. And I look forward to whatever you got coming up next. We're gonna be pushing it. We're gonna be behind it. We're not afraid to play your stuff. You got. I mean, hey, we're right behind you, man.
Man, I always been riding with you too, Styles. And before we go, you can catch me or contact me on my social media, which is at West Coast KAM at everything: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at West Coast KAM. And while we're on the subject, like I said, of Trump and COVID and all of that, we are not taking no vaccine, no Dr. Fauci vaccines. You know what I'm saying? We are the victims of the Tuskegee experiment and sterilization throughout Africa with all these vaccines and autism in these vaccines. We are not taking no vaccines. So if you want some natural alternatives to try to defend yourself against the COVID-19 pandemic, virus, go to my website and look into this. Research it for yourself. It's called colloidal silver, for those that never heard of it before. Colloidal silver is a mineral. It's not a drug. This is a natural mineral found in nature. Silver is mentioned in the Bible and Quran among the ancients, the indigenous, and it's the strongest natural antiviral known to science.
Oh.
According to top peer-reviewed published medical and scientific journals, they all proved for over a century, and this information been suppressed by the American Medical Association and the FDA because they can't put a patent on it. That within 6 seconds, colloidal silver kills over all known disease-causing viruses, pathogens, microbes, bacteria, germs, that they ever tested it on. And no virus is known to be able to mutate, after being in contact with silver, colloidal silver. It's mentioned in the Bible for a reason. That's why we have silver spoons and silver platters and silver bullets that's supposed to kill werewolves, because that's all symbolic language of disease and viruses, infections in your blood, like zombies and werewolves and vampires and all of that. So silver is a holy weapon against all disease-causing viruses, because all viruses ain't bad, but disease-causing viruses. Do your research. Don't take KAM word for it. It's not a scam or snake oil. It's suppressed, peer-reviewed, published medical journal information that's been out there, but it's just been suppressed. So you can do it on my website, because I make it. I learned how to make it ever since 2009. I've been making it for 11 to 12 years just for my family. So my family never been vaccinated, never had no sicknesses, no diseases, never been to the hospital, none of that. So I'm a living example and a witness of this works for us. It's been working for us. I don't know what it'll do for you, but research it and use it. I'm not lying. You try it.
Look into. KAM, before we go, can you end us off with a drop for westcoaststyles.com, please?
Of course.
Okay.
Y'all gotta keep on riding. The brown and the black on the righteous attack. I'm riding with my bro, West Coast Styles, from day one until the end. That's how we gonna do it. Peace.
KAM, thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure, and we look forward to the future. With more what you have going on. So thank you.
Salute, Styles. Appreciate you, bro.
All right, brother. Peace.
What time is it? Okay, we have some fabulous live music later on, but right now, here's the kind I prefer.